You know we had to do a podcast, right?
What's your name, fat body?
Of course, you were looking food. What the hell?
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
I'm gonna eat it.
You owe me for one jelly donut!
Fat motherfucker.
Listen to it. My wife said no one's gonna listen to us.
I've got bigger titties than you do!
Bullshit, because nobody fucking had geese back at that point for a bigger guy.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I might be somebody's shot of whiskey.
You can't think about, hey, I need to lose 100 pounds, and think about winning that day.
Fucking, I want a cheeseburger and a milkshake. Yo, what's up, Fathletes, and welcome to episode 37 of the Fat Boy Jiu Jitsu podcast. Man, I'm back, baby. I told you guys this wasn't gonna be a fluke. I wasn't gonna wait, do this last podcast and then wait 6.5 weeks before coming back. I'm back. I told you guys, if I could put my mind to doing this freaking triathlon thing, and then I can spend the time and even do a podcast. Luckily for me, it ain't much today. I actually sat down the other day and had this conversation with Mr. David Ramirez, who is, I would say he's a fathlete. I mean, he's definitely one of someone who I look for inspiration. Sometimes he's so a little bit about him. He was a overweight guy. He's from Chicago, and he was a little overweight, and he started running. And I actually just learned about him a couple months ago. He started following me, so I kind of like, when someone follows me, I start looking and I said, "Oh damn! Look at this guy." He started training Jiu Jitsu. He was heavy. He started running, and he's ran like, I wrote this down, 17 marathons. And this is a guy who at one point in his life was like 260, and he didn't want to run. He wasn't just living a shit life, a life that most of us find us living, just sitting down, very lethargic, not doing anything, and he sought out to change that. So him and I sat down, we talked. He's actually doing a tap out cancer tournament, and basically he's just raising money for, instead of paying an entry fee, he can raise money for the tournament, and that's the route he chose. I'm going to link the tournament donation area in the show notes. But like I said, here's the podcast with him, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend, or have a great week. Yo, what's up, Fathletes? Today on the podcast, I have David, who is Dad is Getting Fit BJJ runner. He is a white belt at Gracie Barra Des Plaines, and on October 20th, he will be competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament, Grappling for Good. I wanted to get him on the podcast so he can talk about that, and I also am very interested in his story. He's been following him for a while, and he's following me, and in his time he's lost I think over 60 pounds, and like, this guy's an ultra runner, because he's done like a 50 miler, and I don't know what else, but hey, David, welcome aboard. How you doing, brother?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I am awesome. Down here actually I'm in Des Plaines, Illinois. I can't even say Chicago anymore, because technically I used to make fun of those people who would always be like, "Oh, I'm from Chicago," or "I live in Chicago." I'm like, you man.
Well,
Rosemont, or you live in Schaumburg. So
funny enough, you bring that up because the other day I had somebody come to the house to give us a quote on something, and he went through our room and he saw a bunch of my Cubs hats in my room. He goes, "Oh, you're from Chicago?" I go, "Yes." I go, "I grew up in Logan Square." He goes, "Oh, I'm from Chicago too." And I go, "Oh yeah, really? Where?" He goes, "Elgin." I go, "Bro, that's not Chicago."
No, bro, that is not Chicago. I grew up, actually, that's funny you should say that. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, like, pretty much my entire life until I moved in with my missus, who, funny enough, she grew up in Logan Square. Same house for her entire life.
Wow.
So I spent 4 years actually living in Logan Square. It was awesome.
Oh, I love Logan. Well, I loved it when I lived there. I go back and it's not the same.
So there's so many like güeros and yuppies are all over the place. It's crazy.
Well,
for me, I came in like right as gentrification really started taking off. For her, it's a whole thing. She's like, I don't recognize anything anymore. I'm like, damn, I can only imagine.
Oh my God!
I'm like,
if my mom, the house that we lived in Chicago, we didn't sell. We sold like 4 or 5 years after we moved down here. So probably like in 06, 07. I mean, she made a decent amount, but had she held out a little bit longer, she probably would have made a hell of a lot more. But
oh my God, yeah.
So I would tell my friends stories about growing up in Chicago and how bad it was in Logan Square. And I took one of my friends to Chicago once in during October, during the fall, and we were staying at my father's house, who lives up in Munster. And we took the train over there, and we walking through Logan Square. He goes, "Bro," he goes, "You think this is a rough neighborhood?" I'm like, "Nah, man." I go, "Time out." I go, this shit was different.
Like, hold on. We're going to go down Western. We're going to go to Humboldt Park right now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to Borinquen.
That ain't like that anymore.
I know.
Man, you crazy? Dude, like my missus, when she sold her place, my wife sold her house, they tore the sucker down, built two $1.2 million homes there. No lie.
Oh my God! Were they like tiny homes? Were they really thin and really long?
Dude, yeah, they're like really thin, really high up, and like really long. So there's no backyard whatsoever. But these guys had like an espresso machine put in there and stuff. Like it's built into the wall. They have a freaking fucking espresso machine. Like how white can you get?
That's fucking crazy.
And considering the Starbucks is 2 blocks away, but you need an espresso machine right in your and a fireplace.
Hey, but let me tell you, man. Sometimes
in the kitchen.
Sometimes a good coffee is a good coffee, man. Espresso, when you first wake up, that's
that's true. You do need espresso sometimes.
You mean I could get an espresso in my boxers? Word.
You be standing there scratching and stuff. You're like, what? My kitchen. I do it alone. I admit I do it sometimes. I'll wake up in the morning. I turn the coffee maker on. My wife's like, "Why didn't you get dressed yet?" Like, only person looking at me right now is you and the dog. Nobody's here but us.
Nobody else cares, right?
I ain't got nothing to worry about. These are closed, so the neighbors can't see me. I appreciate that much. I told her, at least I'm not walking around, just all ass out to the world, and the blinds are open, and just everybody can see me.
Well, at least now there's a lot less of you too, right?
There is a considerable amount less of me, yes.
So that's a plus.
That is a plus. I admit. So I guess I should start into my whole story. People are like, damn, these two guys just talking.
It's all right, brother. It's all right.
But, so, yeah, actually, I've always been big, bro. I was like the biggest recorded weight I have. I always have to add that to people because honestly, I don't know how big I really got. I got up to 260. So but honestly, though, I'm thinking I probably weighed more around 270.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I weighed myself, I been working out for like a week and cutting back on all my nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly thinking I might have lost a few pounds that week. So I think I was actually heavier. But I was so afraid to get on a scale though. 'Cause I'm like, looking at myself, I'm like, you look in the mirror one day and you're like, I'm fine, whatever. I've always worn extra large T-shirts, so it's not a big deal. But then all of a sudden it's like, damn, extra large T-shirts a little snug. Like, I just got out of the dryer. That's why. You're stretching it and stuff. And
where you put on the T-shirt and you kind of like put your knees up above so they kind of stretch it out.
Yes. That's that was my famous move.
Mm-hmm.
I do that. I'm like, it just needs to be stretched a little. It just needs to be. It just came out of the dryer. Or the famous, it's new.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
new. So it, they pre-shrink these. That's why. No, because I was fat and I was unhealthy. So I finally.
So was this like your whole life, or was it just? I mean, you said you were a little bit bigger, but do you know like when you started gaining weight, or?
Probably not like my entire life. I mean, all through my teens, I was big.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest about that. Pretty much, the problem was, this is my major problem. I was never like a super active kid. I was not the kid. My parents put me in baseball. I hated every minute of playing baseball. I just know. I did not like it. So I was the kid who I liked playing video games. I liked going to the movies. I would do I learned how to ride a bike, so I liked bike riding and stuff like that. Well, honestly, though, most of my youth, from like 10 on, I was the chubby kid, or as they called it, husky. He's just husky.
He's just husky,
or,
big bone.
Yeah, husky is the famous one. Big bone, stocky. That was my other favorite one. People would say, "You're just stocky. It's fine. You're just stocky, bro. You're just stocky. Even in high school, you'll outgrow that." I didn't have a neck in high school. I found a picture from my graduate, from like freshman year at a tie on. I was like choking myself basically. I had like no neck whatsoever. Like my gut hung over,
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing, and it's like, man. So my level of activity was non-existent. I ate crappy food all the time. Like my house every Friday never fails with pizza night.
Okay, so what gets you from there to running a fucking ultra marathon, a 50-miler, right? What else?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to lay down my accomplishments, and I'm sorry for anybody listening to this, and if they think I'm a giant douche right now.
No, bring them on,
I'm not.
Bring them on.
I'm not. I admit, I'm an asshole. I will say that. But, so, as I say this, I'm walking into my workout room, and I have, like, my medals all laid out. But you've probably seen the picture.
I have seen the picture.
And
you actually, that picture is what gave me the idea to do the 1 medal per pound that I've lost.
No shit.
Yes.
That's dope, bro. I like post this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to be affected by this in a positive way whatsoever. I'm like, I'm just going to put it out
That
there.
wall of race bibs, it looked like a wall of license plates.
That is what it looks like.
Most people have in their garage that they do that. They collect license plate, and it looks cool. But you look at it, you're like, oh wait, oh shit, those are race bibs.
Yeah, no, these are every single race I've ever done. I saved my bibs. I originally would put them in a Ziploc, but I had no place to put them.
Mm-hmm.
I was living with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. I did my first race ever was a 10K. So I guess that's where maybe I should start there. My first race ever was a 10K.
So couch to 10K.
Couch to 10K, basically, yeah. Which was funny enough because I saw. So let's rewind back first. Let's rewind back right quick.
Mm-hmm.
So that we could touch upon everything because people are gonna be curious, like, wait, how did you just jump from one thing to another? So the journey itself started on New Year's Eve. I went to hang out
of
with
17 or of 18.
Of 2011.
Okay.
I want to say like 2011. Yeah, because I've been with her for about 6 years now. Yeah, it was like 2011, somewhere around there. I've been on this for a while now. I went to go hang out with my best friend at the time, who is now my wife. She was my girlfriend. She wasn't anything. Just hanging out with her for a little bit on New Year's Eve, before everything, we was like, well, let's just hang out for a little bit, and then you go, spend time with your daughter, and, and I'm going to go spend time with my family. And, just being with her, I realized, I'm like, man, this is the person I want to be with. The only issue was I realized, I'm like, I'm fat, And I was just like, damn, my thought was, this woman is not going to want to be with me because I'm fat. I'm like, I'm out of shape. I freaking can barely walk up a flight of stairs without getting gas. And so I was like, so what happened was I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in shape. I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm going to get in shape, New Year. And, let's do it together. This was my whole plan. This is how I kind of conned her into even, going out with me and stuff. Mm-hmm. So she's like, yeah, okay, cool. So she was my motivation, for the first, 3 months of the year. And I was losing, a little bit. And then progressively I got closer to her, and eventually, we became us. Well, I was with her and doing good, and she's motivating me. A year or so passes. At that point, I had lost about 40, 50 pounds, give or take. Mm-hmm. Give or take. I gained a little, because I was working for CPS at the time, Chicago Public Schools. So people who don't know how we do it in the Chi. And I had summers off, though. Man, having summers off is it's good and it's bad. It's nice because you get to chill. You don't have to wake up early, and it's summertime. You enjoy. But it's so easy to slip back into old bad habits. She's at work. I'm just chilling. I'm hanging out with my daughter, and then I go see her. And it's just easy to dick around, and not eat right. So I was like, man, I got to do something. I had, towards the end of summer, I was just like, I got to do something. I got to get myself in shape. I was walking on the treadmill at the time. I started walking an hour a day. I would put the incline up as high as it can go. So that's the only way I could think to really do it, Mm-hmm. So my cousin would constantly tell me, he's going to come back to the story later. He always tell me, my cousin Bobby would tell me, he's like, you should do this trail. It was like 110 stairs. I'm like that 111. Anybody who goes to Swallow Cliff, please feel free to correct me on the amount of freaking stairs. But you do these stairs, and he's like, there's this 4.5 mile little trail you can run. He's like, you should do it. I'm like, running, man? I'm kind of like, dude, I get winded walking on the treadmill. I'm not going to run. But one day, I was just I was just going around. I was in that area. I'm like, I'm going to check this place out. And I'm in my head, I'm like, I'll just do the stairs. I'm wearing cargo shorts, a cotton T-shirt, and just a pair of gym shoes. I did the stairs. I'm like, I wonder how much of this trail I could run, actually. I didn't have headphones. I didn't have any fancy running shit, I ran the entire thing. It took me I don't know, 50, 55 minutes, almost an hour. It was pretty damn slow. I just felt so awesome afterwards. I'm like, this was great. I'm like, man, if I actually made an effort, I had my tunes, had proper clothing on, because I was Cave City after that. And I texted her right away, and she's all proud of me. So I made it a habit of going. My cousin, he became a really avid runner, doing 5Ks, 10Ks, doing all this shit. He tells me, he's like, hey, you should do this 10K with me. I'm like, what? A 10K? The hell out of here. He's like, come on. He's like, you do the trail as it is. He's like, 10K is going to be nothing for you then. So I'm like, I guess I can do that. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, I tell her, she's like, yeah, you should do it, Who cares? It's like, if you don't like it, you did it. You get a cool T-shirt out of it, at least, right? I'm like, fine. I'm like, all right. I go out there, do it. I wore which every runner out there who listens to this is like, oh my God. I wore the race T-shirt, which is something you're never supposed to do. Real serious runners, they never wear the race T-shirt. I had a pair of long old basketball shorts on.
I'm writing that down. Never wear Race shirt. That is a big faux pas.
Yeah, it is a big faux pas, yeah. Like, hardcore runners, they never wear the race shirt. You always wear a different shirt. Like, you can wear another race shirt, or, like, the race shirt from the previous year, but it's, like, supposed to be bad luck, if you wear the shirt. So, I did I did everything bad. I didn't have my headphones. I was like, damn. I ran the 10K, though. I actually ran the whole thing. I didn't even have to stop, except the one time that I was so nervous I got sick to my stomach and had to run into the John. But I'm like, but I finished. I'm like, holy shit, I finished. I can't believe it. I was like, just jacked. My cousin's like all proud of me and stuff. I'm like, man, like, this is pretty cool. He's like, hey, there's another one. There's another race, but this one's only a 5K through Brookfield, too. You want to do that one? I'm like, hell yeah. So that's how the running started. I started running, little short races here and there, mostly 5Ks. And then my brother had the brilliant idea. He's like, we should do Spartan race. And my brother Leo, he's like, yeah, we should do Spartan race. Come on, it'll be awesome. And blah, 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 blah. So I did that with him. It was a lot of fun. But, yeah, needless to say, that was rough. I wasn't ready for that. So, do that, and I'm doing, like, all these little races, here and there. And then one day I get the brilliant idea of my wife joins the running club at her job, and she hates to run. But to this day, I still don't. I question why she did it. So she's, like, joined the running club, and she's like, hey, these are all the races we do. We should try to do as many of them together as we can. She's like, you run ahead of me because, you're faster than I am. But, so that helped, like, keep me in check, that activity. I wanted to be good, and I wanted to start reading Runner's World, and I was really into it. So one day she's like, hey, there's a half marathon. I'm like, a half marathon? What? I do 10Ks and 5Ks, like a half marathon. Oh, shit. 13.1 miles? I can't do that. Like, oh, you could do it, So I started training for this thing, all on my own, day of. I'm like, all right, I gotta do this thing. But I'm like, I told myself I have to do this in under 2 hours. Like, I don't want to be that guy who, like, doesn't finish or whatever. I finished 1:59:50.
Wow.
I beat the clock by 10 seconds. I was so excited. And the worst part was, it was up in Highland Park, right up the North Shore. The course is beautiful, but Jesus, there's no shade though. There's like one part where you go through like a cul-de-sac, and it's just like, and it's June.
Oh, sun beating down on you.
Yes, I was like, oh my God, like, well, that was a miserable experience. So,
but you still did it under 2 hours.
I still did it under 2 hours,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So, did a few other races. I signed up with a running group in Chicago because I was like, I'm going to try for, I'm like, man, like, I should maybe, like, well, I did a half marathon. Like, maybe I should do the marathon because my brother's sister-in-law had did the marathon the previous year. She's like, you should do it. And my cousin did it. And he's like, dude, you could do it. Come on, you did a half marathon in under 2 hours. He's like, takes me way longer, blah, blah, blah. You should. I put in for the lottery of the Chicago Marathon. I'm like, well, if I get in, God wants me to do this. If I don't get in, and God told me, hey, Patty, this one ain't for you. I got in.
What?
So I trained an entire summer to do this. I finished it. Afterwards, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Tell me why. I've done already 13 marathons.
13 full fucking marathons. That's
13 full fucking marathons. That is what I've done. I've covered a couple states. I covered like Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
You plan on doing one in every state?
That was originally my goal. Cincinnati. I got Ohio out there. But man, it's just tough. And my life is that's the other interesting part is my life has changed. I've kind of taken a little bit of a different trajectory. The whole, right after Chicago, I was like I want to, first I was like, I don't want to do another one. Then I'm like, man, it'd be kind of cool to do one in every state. And Cincinnati has this one called the Flying Pig. And so, I'm like, there's some cool ones out there. And I'll probably hit other states eventually. So, I did a couple of races, and I did some more marathons. And one year, it was a couple of years back in 2016. No, 2015. I did the Wisconsin Marathon. The most miserable race experience I ever had. I was out of shape. I got sick during the race. I was so dehydrated. It was just a miserable experience all the way around.
Was it weather-related, or was it all just non-training?
A little bit of everything. Like, I was trying to do a more advanced training plan. You know, I was like hitting 60 miles a week, but I was eating crappy. I was eating garbage food. Of course, none of that, like, I was like, oh, man, I'm doing all these intense miles, man. It's okay if I eat, you know, a little more of, you know, the bread and the pasta and shit, you know? Mm-hmm. I need that. I need those carbs. I had this god-awful miserable experience there. I decided to completely overhaul my entire eating. I decided, you know what? I'm going low carb, and that's the bottom line. Did that. I got down to 160 pounds, bro. 160. Wow. I moved to the suburbs, and tell me why I gained about 40 back. So,
what was it, complacency?
40 back. Part of it was complacency. Part of it was arrogance. Part of it also was I've learned
that's actually your post was about that today. You had a post about that specifically today.
Yeah, about arrogance. Also, the mental aspect of losing weight. People always love to just say, like, I have people telling me this all the time, it's easy to lose weight, man. Just calorie in versus calorie out, caloric deficit. No, it's so much more than that. It is so much mental when you're trying to lose weight. If you are not right, if your relationship isn't right with food, if your relationship's not right with yourself, you can lose the weight, but you will gain it back just as easy because you're not right. You're not mentally there. I lost it, gained about 40, decided to sign up for a 50-mile ultra marathon because I was like, you know what? I need a new challenge. I'm like, I need something to kick me in the ass. So I signed up for the Plains River Trail 50-mile ultra marathon. I spent, again, this is even more intense training because I ran 6 days a week. Every Friday I ran 10 miles. And then the very next day on Saturday mornings I'd have to run 20. So I'm like...
So you would stack it so it would be within the 24 hours you're really doing like 30 miles. There's a break in between.
Yes. And that was the only way to do it. And every other day before that, though, I was running 6. Okay. So by the time my training ended, I had maxed out at like 70 miles a week.
Wow.
It was intense. And and then again, I got down to 160. And I'm not lying to anybody. I was not shredded. Not even like, damn, you're 160. You look like a bone. Like, no, but I looked healthy and I felt fantastic. I got down, got to that starting line, and I went. I had my game plan. I admit, I didn't come in first. I didn't come in last. But damn near did almost come in last. Because, running 50 miles is no joke. When you're out there, it's one of those things, it's not like...
I don't think you can come last, dude. You just ran 50 miles in an event.
Well, technically, there was these 2 other girls behind me, thankfully, again, life is funny that way. For my first half marathon, I said, I'm going to do this in under 2 hours. For this one, I was like, shit, I just want to finish. But I beat the cutoff time by like 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, that time would have cut off, and they would have said, nope, sorry, David, you are done, my friend. Mr. Ramirez, you cannot proceed anymore. We're sorry, you're done. And I made it to the end, though. I finished. I was like,
how did it feel? Yeah, how did it feel to finish?
I was ecstatic. My wife was there. We weren't married at the time, but I hugged her, and I started crying like a little baby. And I had some of my running friends were there, and they were like, "Oh, don't start crying and make me cry." I'm bawling. it was like physically so hard, but it was such a huge accomplishment. It's like, I did it. I finished this thing that like a lot of people who used to know me would have said like, "Oh, you're not gonna finish that, bro." It's like,
I bet you there's people there that wouldn't even believe that you would attempt it.
No, oh yeah, I knew I had people who were detractors. They would never say it, because nobody wants to be that person to say like, "Look, man, hang up the towel on this one, bro, because you're not gonna finish that shit." You're running in the woods for 25 miles in one direction, and then I have to turn around, run 25 miles back. So it's not like I at least did a circle, where the scenery changed.
It's the same
I ended up seeing the same scenery twice. The only upshot to that was it was stuff I was like, okay, I remember this. And there was like a couple of points I got to see my wife. She kind of came out. And then as I was nearing the end, last say maybe 5K or so, all of a sudden I'm like running with my friend, we're talking. I'm like, shit, my legs are like burning. I see this dude and this little kid walking. I'm like, oh, it's like a father and son over there. They must be walking because it's a public trail. Turns out it was my brother and my nephew.
Oh, wow.
That was the coolest thing for me. That was like that extra kick I needed at the end there. So they were going with me for a little bit, and they're in like jeans and t-shirts and stuff. So they're like, "Come on, let's jog a little." And they're trying to keep my spirits up, and they're talking to me and stuff. And as time started dwindling down, I'm like, I finally looked at my brother. I'm like, dude, my foot is killing me. My legs hurt. I'm like, but I gotta go. He's like, dude, it's like, run. It's like, I gave my nephew my water bottle. I'm like, young Leo, hold this for me. Hold my water bottle, boy. He's like, my brother told me, he's like, dude, he's like, you're like probably maybe a mile away only. He's like, go, take off so you can finish. So I literally, the last mile, somehow on tired legs, I finished in I did like a 9-minute mile.
Last set, best set.
And it just shows you what you can do when you're really determined. So
That's
I finished
awesome.
that. It was in October. So once again, life kind of comes full circle. That was my biggest challenge that year, 2016, was to finish this freaking, ultra marathon 50-mile, and I got my medal for it. Well, it was kind of a medal. It's more of a belt buckle, actually. I'm looking at it right now. It was cool, though. It was like, man, I hung it up with all my other medals, and I was just like, man, I did it. But again, there's these things in life that you have to hold yourself accountable. I didn't hold myself accountable anymore. I'm like, well, the race is over. I'm like, again, I lost the weight. I'm good. I don't need to weigh in. I know what to do. I know what to do. This. I've learned from my mistakes from last time. Apparently I did not. I spent all of 2018 gaining weight and being lazy, not really doing. I did like the Chicago Marathon, but I wasn't really into it anymore. It's like that whole 50-mile, as awesome as it was like a culmination of all kinds of stuff, and it's just like, it's kind of like, it was like it really weighed me down,
Mm-hmm.
You put so much pressure on yourself to be great at something, and it's like, man, this is a day I just did this for fun, because I really enjoyed it, 2018 was just not the best year diet-wise. That I did the Chicago Marathon. I finished. That was how I looked at it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to finish at least.
Well, shit, you've done 13. That's amazing. That's crazy. Yeah. I still, it's funny, you're downplaying it, but it's like you still completed 13 marathons.
Yeah, it's true. I did. I completed 13 marathons. I've done a 10-miler. I've done a bunch of half marathons. I've done...
most mornings you pump out 6 miles before most people are out of bed.
Well, not only that, I pump out 6 miles before most
at
people
lunch.
Are out of bed, and at lunch I complete 4 miles. But then, at least twice a week, 6 a.m., I'm at Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think it's more than twice a week, because when I look at your pictures, I'm like, shit, this guy's in Jiu Jitsu again? I'm like, damn. I thought I go twice a week in the morning,
I sometimes do the evening class. Evenings are always the toughest, though. That's the tougher class, only because it's like, man,
you've done all day, right?
Yes, and then I'll go Saturday mornings though. I'm like, as long as I can get my 6 a.m., and Saturday morning, I'm good. I'm like, add another 6 a.m. though, so I can get my 4 days in, because, well, that was the other thing too that changed. Towards the latter end of 2017, I was just kind of like I like running. I'm like, I don't want to. I was like, first I was thinking, man, maybe 2018, that's the year of the 100-miler. I'll do a 100-mile ultramarathon. I was mapping. I had 2 of them in mind. I'm like, I was looking up training plans. I'm like, yeah, oh, shit, oh, yeah. But in the back of my head, there's always this thing of, man, I really like to train jiu-jitsu. Like, really train jiu-jitsu. Like, I dabbled in it before, and I did kickboxing and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But you know how it feels. You're the big guy on the mat. That's not fun. Dude's like, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. Give me a second. Bro, it's only been 2 minutes. I know. We're still midget wrestling. I know, bro, but I need to catch my breath, bro. Or like, just out of desperation, you pull guard. Like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you just want to hold them there for a minute while you catch your breath, So, I was 260 trying to do jiu-jitsu. And shit, bro, you were bigger than I was. So I give you so much credit, though, for being willing to just, like, you were just like, fuck this. I'm doing it.
A little bit,
I whipped
yeah.
out. I admit, I whipped out at first.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you heard the last podcast, but I kept doing jiu-jitsu to spite somebody. It wasn't because I fell in love with it.
And you're just like,
it really wasn't.
Proved you wrong.
It was.
That's okay though.
Yeah, I mean, it kept me going, and look where I'm at now. I'm 9 years.
And 9 years in, bro, you're a brown belt. You've lost. How much weight have you lost so far? Like what?
161 pounds.
160. I was at 150. It's 161 pounds, bro. I see you, and I'm like, damn, Juan has got it going on. That is like, fuck.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. So, like, but in the back of my head, it was always there, I started looking up jiu-jitsu videos on YouTube. I was, like, watching, like, Hadra Gracie versus Buchecha, and I was watching, like, Eddie Bravo Invitational and shit. And, I was, like, starting to get back into the UFC. But I was just like, man, like, where the hell am I going to train at? Like, I started looking at schools around here. I'm like, ooh, 10th Planet, they do no gi. And that's all I've ever done. The little bit I did, it was no gi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ooh, they do no gi. But it's only in the city, and their schedule kind of sucks. And I had a crappy work schedule at the time. So I'm like, I need an early class. I need early, and I need Saturday. That's what's going to work for me. I'm driving to the store one day for my wife. She's like, go to the grocery store, give me a loaf of French bread. This is what happens when you marry a Puerto Rican, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know you know Puerto Rican. The Puerto Rican over there's laughing. He knows.
Yep.
He knows what the French bread and shit. So,
French bread and some butter.
I'm like, oh, bro, you have no idea. That's a staple in my house. It's a staple in our house, unfortunately. So, she's driving. So I'm driving. I get stopped at a red light. I look. I see a big banner. Gracie Baja, Jiu-Jitsu, coming for a free class. I'm like, oh, snap. So I snap a picture of it. I send it to my brother. I'm like, dude, check it out. There's a Gracie Baja on display. And like, dude, it's like 5 minutes from my house. How awesome is this? And that's like in September. So I send it to my brother. He's like, no shit. He's like, dude, I'm going to go check it out. I'm like, awesome. Let me know how it is. I look at the schedule. I'm like, schedule again. I was working in Arlington Heights.
That fucking
so I was getting out of work at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no traffic. Was awful. I was like, man, I can make it to like a 7 o'clock class. But I'm like, damn, you go from 7 to 8. You just finished work. That's a hard freaking day, man.
And the worst part about that is sometimes is trying to fit that in, knowing, like, man, when am I going to eat?
Exactly. I'm like, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna get home at 8 o'clock, 8:15 or so. And I'm like, damn, like this guy. And then I'm talking to my brother, I'm like, man, you think he'll ever open up like an early schedule? I'm like, he's like, dude, he's like, my coach Tony, he's like, he's talking about it, man. He's talking about it. I'm asking about the 6 a.m. I asked him about the 6 a.m. So he kept telling him, he's like, bro, when are you gonna have 6 a.m.? He's like, soon, man, soon. He's like, I'm just waiting to hear back from the firefighters and the cops, you know. That's when they have their shift change. Those guys can kind of, you know, they'll
So
come
they,
in.
yeah, they can
stuff.
come
He's
in too. Yeah.
My brother kept telling me, he's like, dude, he's like, well, let me know. He's like, my brother's interested. I was like, man, I just like the idea of like, it started like really sinking. Like, man, I really want to train jiu-jitsu. Really, and all of a sudden, brother finally texts me, he's like, dude, this is end of January, last 2 weeks of January. He's like, dude, just confirmed. First week of February, he's having 6 a.m. He's like, you should come in he's like, you should come in already, though, because he gives you a week free. I'm like, I'm going in. So I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I really want to do this. I really want to try jiu-jitsu. You know, she's like, okay. Well, she's like, well, if you really want to try it, all right. You have my support. I go in there, you know, I meet Tony. And, like, you know, when you just go into a place and you just click with somebody, like, you could tell their coaching style, everything about them it's there. So it wasn't even just him, it was the people in the class were all like, I looked at them, I'm like damn, like they're
You
all
just felt
my
right.
age, you know. Yes. They're all in their, and my brother told me, he's like, dude, he's like, none of these guys, like nobody in here is like, wants to be an MMA fighter. Nobody's in here like, my brother used to tell me stories about jiu-jitsu, you know, when they would train and how, you know, yeah, they would knee on belly you with a new guy into submission, you know? I'm like, damn, they were rough, weren't they? He's like, dude, these days aren't like that. These days are totally cool. I've partnered up with my buddy, guy who's now my buddy, Julio. It's like hilarious. Meet him, he's like an inch taller than me, both bald, both Mexicans, both dads. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, I'm looking around me. I'm like, there's nobody there who's like, you know, there's no ego from anybody. And then when I saw Tony's coaching style, man, that just like, I told him that day, he's like, well, you know, it's like, you get a week free. You know, what do you think? I like told him I want to sign up now. He's like, well, you get a week free. I'm like, no, I'm signing up now. I'm like, this is my, you know, this is my home. This is where I'm going to be. So, you know, immediately I signed up and I went for that first week. I went Tuesday and Thursday nights, which was rough as hell. Then I went Saturday. And I remember it's hilarious. My first 6 a.m. class jiu-jitsu, I'm just like, I'm the only person there. He's like, damn. He's like, it's just going to be me and you today.
You got some privates.
Like,
you got some privates, man.
Dude, the first few classes, it was just me and him. And then I'd go on Saturday when everybody else was there. Oh, and then one day my wife tells me, she's like, hey, you get, you know, how many classes of jiu-jitsu a week do you take? I'm like, I have unlimited. She's like, then why aren't you going more often? I'm like, well, damn. You know, Puerto Rican attitude came out all of a sudden.
Well, why you want to kick me out of the house, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell? I'm like, well, yeah. So I was getting out of work at 6:30. I get to class right at 7. So I just do that once a week. But dude, that's rough too, because it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days straight training jiu-jitsu. But the thing was, it wasn't like it was 6 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 a.m. We're talking 6 a.m., 7 p.m., and then 6 a.m. again.
Yeah, the back-to-back class has always like been a hard one for me to do too. When you're doing a late night class and then you leave class like 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and to be back by 6:30 those are rough classes.
Dude. Yeah, so I was just like, man. And thankfully they changed my schedule at work, so I was like, yes. I'm like, I can get to the 6:30 p.m. class, and you know it's on Wednesday, so I'm like, damn. But you know, doubling up though is tough too. People don't understand that. Like doing 2, and in my case now it's more like 3 a day.
Yeah, because you run in the between. But your cardio must be crazy for jiu-jitsu. I mean, I always say it's a different type of cardio, you know, grappling cardio versus running cardio. But regardless, that still helps. I mean,
it does. You know, it has helped a lot. Like sometimes, like at first, I admit, I first started grappling, I was just so much of I was having trouble breathing. I'm like, why the hell am I?
But I think that's more of when most people, when they start jiu-jitsu, is because they're so tense. They don't know that feeling of having another man on top of you, or just that whole that's anxiety right there. You're like, what the hell's going on? You're so tense, and it takes a while to develop that comfortness of okay, I kind of know what to do here. So it's crazy because while you may have gassed a little bit more in the beginning, but I think it's maybe because of how your body was tensing.
Oh yeah, no, I was definitely tensed up. I knew I was. It sucks. It's like he was open at that point for September, October, November, December. It's like 4 months already. So everybody there has been trading for 4, going on 5 months, and I'm like the guy who trained all of if you really took all my jiu-jitsu together, all of 2 weeks. I would literally when I trained, I went for maybe a couple of months, and it was only on Saturdays.
Oh wow!
It was 1 day a week. You're not learning shit.
No, you're not.
So, you know what I mean? So it's I knew the basic positions, but I mean any idiot can learn those positions. Shit, you watch the UFC enough. Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. He's in a mount right there. Got him in a mount, Goldie. Or his side control is fantastic. So, you pick any idiot can, like I said, just watching the UFC. You're like, oh, this is mount, this is guard, this is side control, that's half guard, But to actually know how to properly have yourself in those positions, know how to, okay, I got to grab the sleeve. I got to, start playing. I got to open up and, put my foot on its hip. All right, drive the knee up, open the arm, put my foot in, bam, spider guard on one side. Okay. Now let's get spider guard on the other side. Oh, shit, he's standing up. What am I going to do? Okay, let's go for inside De La Hiva, outside De La Hiva, lasso the arm. You don't know those things at first. So, when you're going in somebody who kind of has a better idea, that sucks. But now it's so much different, though. Now it's now I'm like, okay, I know, what to do here. And I admit, I make stupid mistakes. We all do.
Oh, we do.
But it's just...
We still do. Believe me, we still do.
But at least it's okay, now my comfort level's there, so now I'm able to implement my cardio more into it. So now I think of it like a race, You gotta chill, you gotta be relaxed. It's the same thing, the same principles apply.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that. It's all about, you gotta be chilled, you gotta be centered yourself and just breathe and relax. And that's the key thing. And that's something, for me, that's the one thing, jiu-jitsu has given me so much. I started training jiu-jitsu, and oddly enough, things in my life got better. My attitude towards things changed.
That's amazing.
I'm leaving, I leave work sometimes, or people just kind of progressively, people have told me, damn, your attitude has changed. What changed in your life? I'm thinking, jiu-jitsu. I mean, I'm leaving, class, and I'm just, sometimes I admit, I make a mistake and I get submitted, and that sucks. Nobody wants to be tapped out. But it's you know what, though? I learned something from it. You learn from your negative experiences then. And now you apply that to life. I make a mistake. I'm hey, what lesson can be learned here? I'm rolling and I get arm bars, from the guard, from somebody's guard. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't have T-Rex arms. Or, my brother the other day was playing spider guard and like an idiot. I didn't stand up. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he swept me because, I was too busy worrying about trying to fight, his hands and trying to damn it, how can I control him? And, or how can I secure the one leg and still get the pass,
Mm-hmm.
Jiu-Jitsu teaches you so much about plan A. Okay, plan A, shit, out the door. That's one thing Tony always tells us, my coach. He's remember, plan A didn't work out too well for you. What's plan B now? Okay, let's do that. He's plan B doesn't work. He's you have a whole alphabet of stuff you can use here. He's don't get fixated on one thing. And that's what I've learned through Jiu-Jitsu. That's what I even learned about, within my own life, is that I can apply those lessons to that. And I can apply it to anything and everything in my life. I apply it to work all the time now. And I'm like, just everything in my life, I tell my daughter all the time, like, there's nothing that you can't do. There's no obstacle you can overcome. It's just, you may have to detour around said obstacle. It may take you a little longer. That's okay, though.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome.
So, so I started training jiu-jitsu, 6 a.m. I go at least 3 or 4 times a week. And I'll be honest, I'm hooked. I'm a 3-stripe white belt right now, or as I once read online, somebody said I'm a 3rd-degree white belt. I'm not really sure when we had degrees for, any rank other than black belt, but apparently it's a thing. Which made me laugh. I'm like,
I always say stripes. I don't
Dude,
say degrees.
I'm like, so we all say stripes. I'm looking at it like, I'm reading this like, did they say degrees?
Yeah,
like,
that to me only matters at black belt.
Exactly, right? I'm like, go sit down. You sit down now. Like, bro, those are stripes on yourself. We all have stripes until we get our black belt. Then we get degrees. Even then, it's like, even here's the black belt, let's say, oh, yeah, that guy's got 4-stripe black belt. They don't even say degrees. But anyway, back to, so recently, I've been, training for about, since late January, I've been training. And my buddy was like, bro, we should do a grappling tournament. We're the 2 biggest guys in the gym. Basically, he's like, it's funny, my coach calls him Goliath. Like, because he's like 260, he's like 6, I would say 5'9", he's like 6 feet tall, maybe a little over 6 feet. Chris, when you listen to this, you can correct me on your height. He's taller than me, so he always calls us David and Goliath. He's like, bro, we should do Naga. I'm like, well, maybe. I'm like, yeah, that would be kind of cool, but no, it didn't happen. It didn't end up happening. But then what happened was, he's like, I was like, man, I got that kind of competitive, bug going, all those years of running races and stuff. And granted, I was never going to win those races, but I always tried to beat the clock, though. The clock was always my opponent. Like, if I could beat that time I put in my own head, then I earned my medal, or I earned, my beer at the end. Some don't give you medals. I earned my victory. I'm like, man, I don't want to do anything I don't want to do like Chicago Open or something, because I'm like, people travel out of state for that. There are people who, they take it super, super serious. I'm like, I'm not ready to take it to that level. And he was telling me, he's like, we should do Tap Cancer Out. I'm like, I looked into it, and it's an awesome charity, It's for Alex's Lemonade Stand. I had an uncle who passed away. I have a couple uncles who actually passed away from cancer. My grandfather had cancer. So it's really impacted my family a lot. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And I saw they had the option of like, hey, you raise them, you can pay the fee, pay the fine, the entry fee, or you can sign up and do it for, you raise money for the charity. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to charity route because this is like to me, this is such a good cause,
Mm-hmm.
So now my focus has been this, and the one thing I keep in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to be a world champion. He's just not in the cards. I'm a 37-year-old white, 3-stripe white belt.
See, I think that's where you're wrong. Whether you believe it or not, you're right. You could be.
True.
Keenan Cornelius didn't start really winning tournaments until he was purple belt.
That's true, but he's considerably younger than I am too.
True, but then your competition also is older.
That's true.
We got Masters World, baby.
And it's true.
And it's in Vegas.
Dude, I was watching the footage of Masters World. I was just like watching. I'm like, go, like that looks go. And I'm seeing like all the GB guys there. My coach's professor, Jefferson Mora, he was there, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, that is so. That's what my buddy Chris said. He's like, bro, we could go to Masters World. He's like, technically, you win. You're a world champion, baby.
That is
You're
true.
a world champion.
That is very true.
I'm like, I guess technically, yeah, I could, but technically I can be a world champion.
Yeah.
Will I get there? I don't know. I mean, it would be cool. So that's the other thing. I'm like, I gotta train my ass off of this. I'm like, I gotta give it my all because I refuse to half-ass this. Because when I half-ass things, that's when I don't do what I want to do. I look back at, like, the Wisconsin Marathon, like I said. I half-assed that, and I just sucked at it. Like, I refuse to suck at this. I love Jiu Jitsu. I love what Jiu Jitsu has done for me. And then I'm doing this for a charity. That's why I did it, too. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it for one that's a charity event first.
That's
that way
awesome.
I get my feet wet. You know, you get the experience. Because let's be honest, nobody's going to be traveling out of state to do tap cancer now. You know, nobody's going to be like, that one, yeah, I'm going to travel all the way to Illinois to do this. You know, yeah, Chicago Open, most certainly. Those people, one of my coach's really good friends, Professor Sergio, he came up from Florida to train. Sergio Costa came all the way up here to do the Chicago Open. So it's like, dude, like.
I flew up to do the Chicago Open in 2013.
Oh, you gotta come back, bro.
I will be. I will be making actually today I downloaded my IBJJF application for my brown belt card because now I need to have a brown belt. So now I have to get a brown belt card.
Hey, you gotta get your brown belt card, baby. You gotta get that. Ah. That is the dopest shit. When I saw that, I took the picture. I sent it to my brother, Leo, and my boy Chris. I'm like, take this shit. He's like, my brother's like, who's this guy? I'm like, bro, that's Fat Boy Jiu Jitsu. I'm like, bro, I'm like, dude, he's lost like over like 100+ pounds. Dude, he's gonna be like 3 something. He's like, damn. And my boy Chris is actually the one who turned me on to you. He's like, bro, you checked out Fat Boy BJJ? I'm like, no. He's like, bro, check him out. He's a fat guy like him. I'm like, uh-huh. I'm like, all right, let's see it, bro. I'm just like, I see your stuff. I'm like, this effing guy, man. This fucking guy's like, you're an inspiration for me, bro. You have no idea.
I appreciate that. That's means a lot. It really does, because I'm telling you, when I see your pictures of running and you 6 miles and stuff like that. Like the other day when I talked to you about it, it was when I did that 3 miler. I was like, man, I felt great. I'm like, but how the fuck does he do 6 miles in the exact same fucking time?
You build up to it. It's like anything, you build up to it. It's like, man. like that first submission you get, you know?
I guess right now I'm white belt level at running.
That's okay. And then now look at you. You started the white belt in jiu-jitsu. Now look what happened.
Very true.
Look what happened. So it's like it's like that first submission. You know, it never happens like right away. You know, you try for it, you fail, you try, you fail, and then you just like it clicks and you get it. You're like, bam. Eventually, you know, you get your go-to submission. So
and the best is when everybody knows that you're gonna go for it, and you still get it.
Yes, that actually happened to me the other day. Me and my boy were rolling. Chris. Sorry, brother, I have to call you out on this one. We're rolling. I had him in mount. I grab his arm. I secure the arm. I tuck my head. I go to S mount. So for those people, non-jiu-jitsu people, I'm sorry, but this might get a little boring for you. But I'm in S mount, I'm turning. My head is secure. Pull the arm. He's looking, and he's like, he told me after, he's like, I was so mesmerized. Like, what you were doing? He's like, I just I crunch on my legs. I fell back. He's like, the heck? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, that's awesome. He's like, and he tells me, he's like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's awesome. He's like, oh shit, that hurts.
You forgot to tap.
And I got to that, and he's all like, bro, how'd you do that? He's like, I was so mesmerized until it started to hurt. Like, that was the most awesome shit ever. So I'm like, bro, we've done this like thousands of times. You've done this armbar, you know? Which is, for me, when I first started jiu-jitsu way back when I first dabbled in it, I remember, like, seeing, like, arm bars from Mount, and I tried it, and, like, you know, the big guy trying to do arm bar from Mount, you're not the most graceful out there doing it. They're all like, oh.
Not at all. We lose a lot or make a lot of space sometimes when we do those.
Yes. And that was always my problem. Now I realize, I'm like, no, you have to be in tight, and you got to compress yourself. And, you know, being the big guy, that's harder for us.
Yeah, you get self-conscious about putting your weight on somebody. You
do. She's like, don't be that a-hole who's like, because then people right away are like, oh, you know, you're just using your size, bro. You're using your size. It's like, well, all I got right now is my size. I can't, I'm not fast. I'm going to be honest. I'm not fast, you know? My brother is like, let's see, he's like 160 or something. Maybe like an inch or two taller than me. He's so fast. His transitions are insane. He's like in side control, north, south, and then back side. Oh, yeah. Knee on belly, knees on bottom. I'm like, fucking A. Like, I'm trying to move that fast. I'm like, I can't do it. So I'm like, you have to use what you got. So I'm like, I got size, so I could pressure, and as long as I'm putting, I know as long as I put enough pressure, you know, I can make it work. I can turn and go. But it's all about that pressure.
Yeah, and you don't need size. You really don't need size to put pressure. Because I'll tell you what.
You don't.
Master Hanato, he's 145, maybe 150 pounds, and he gets you in side control. And I'll tell you what, I bet you his pressure feels more than what I was at my heaviest.
Oh my god, dude! My coach Tony, he's like 200, something like that, and he's like, "I'm gonna show you guys how to put some pressure on." I'm like, "Holy shit, how much do you weigh?" Like, it's all about that weight distribution. As long as you know how to do it right, I'm like, "Holy cow!" I'm like, "Coach, how much do you weigh?" He's like, "Not that much." I'm like,
not that much
right now. They got that much, man. You know. So, but then that comes back to life, though. Now, jiu-jitsu and life are so much of like all about the transition. You know, you have to be able to know how to adjust. You have to be able to know how to go and flow through stuff. If you can't flow, you're not going to get anywhere, you know? It's like hitting the wall over and over again. Don't do you no good.
That's awesome, man. You have really good insight. That's great.
You know, it's taken me time, though, to develop this insight.
You know, it's funny you say time, but, you know, for looking at me, you've been training close to a year or not even, and like this is sometimes things that take people years to look at, to realize.
Yeah, well, you know what? Because I equated to my whole life and my whole journey, my whole weight loss journey. I realized, like, you know, because people always just tell me, "Man, you run so much. Why aren't you like rail thin?" Like, because you can't outrun a bad diet. You know, as corny as that sounds, like, it's 100% true. Though you can't outrun a bad diet. You can't out bench press it. You can't out CrossFit it. You can't out jiu-jitsu it. Doesn't matter. You can't armbar, you know, at Mickey D's weight. You can't tap it out, and then it's just gonna vanish and disappear. It doesn't work that way. So that's what I learned. I learned through my last 2 attempts to get down in weight that, like, man, I was like trying to think, like, what the hell did I do wrong? What, you know, I'm like, I was there, man. I was at the promised land. I was strutting my shit. And then I realized that's why you didn't stay. You got so overly arrogant. You thought you just knew it all. You thought, like, oh, I don't need to be held accountable anymore. All our actions, everything in our life is all about accountability. That's how we learn, though. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu. You know, and that's what's awesome. I can relate so much to jiu-jitsu because it's like when you make a mistake, you're rolling with someone. I know you've been in this position before where you go for something, you miss it. You had in like I went for an armbar and from out, I missed it. I'm like, damn, I missed that. I'm like, I know how to do it, but I got overly arrogant. I was like, I got this. And the same thing can happen to us in our weight loss journey, and that's not what people understand. Everybody thinks that the moment I lose weight, game over, bro. Game over. I'm not getting it back anymore. I'm never getting it back. There's still a possibility you can gain it back.
Well, I've noticed that it's typically when you want, say you lose weight and you just lose the weight, but you don't actually change your life. If you
exactly.
If you don't, if you just chase the results, that's not, you haven't changed your life. You've just temporarily fixed the problem. And
you went on vacation.
Pretty much.
That's what you did. You went on vacation. You're enjoying your time on the beach, but then all of a sudden you got to go back to reality. And I know, and the other thing is, like I said before, people always say, "Oh, it's a calorie in, calorie out." No, it's about knowing the relationship you have with food. I know I have a bad relationship with food, bro. I used to take so much pride in going to Portillo's and getting me a jumbo hot dog and the large fry and wash that down with a Coke. I used to take pride in that. No, 2 jumbo hot dogs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know pride in eating and overeating.
Yes.
Not the same thing.
Shoot. Exactly. I know you.
I'm gonna go to this buffet and I'm gonna eat 6 plates.
Yes. Who's why? You don't need to, but you take that pride in it. Shit.
Or I order an old toddler's pizza and eat the damn whole thing.
Yes. Oh man. Damn. I've not had Congress pizza in a while. Yes. Or you go down to just go down to Regal Benny's and you get the breaded steak sandwich, but you don't get the small one. What's that? You got that big one there? How big is that? At a foot? I'll take that. You got red sauce too? You better throw that red sauce on there. Mozzarella cheese? Shit, yeah. I need something to drink. No, I'm going to drink that Coke, though. I'll have a Sprite. Try cutting back on the dark pop. That shit's bad for you. That was my other thing, too. That was always my famous line right there. Oh, bro, I got to drink Coke. No. I'll have you a Sprite, though. Sprite. Hey, get rid of that dark pop, bro. That stuff's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And sugar water you're drinking right there, motherfucker's going to kill you, too.
Sugar definitely is the devil.
It is, and that's the one thing. It's crazy. When I used to get my coffee with. I used to walk to the Dunkin' Donuts where we lived on Fullerton and Maplewood. I used to walk to the Dunkin' Donuts, and the girl knew my order. They'd see me across the street, and I would walk up, and they had my coffee right there, large French vanilla, extra cream, extra sugar.
Wow.
Damn. So, all of a sudden, one day I realized, I'm you know what? I got to change things, some positive changes. I could still have coffee, but no more sugar in my coffee. So I tell them, well, can I get a large, no sugar? And, they're like, no sugar? Yeah, no sugar. I'm trying to go sugar-free, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay. And it's funny, though, because, you learn to it. Now I can't have sugar in my coffee. I could taste it. I know if you put sugar in there. Even just a tiny bit, I'm holy shit.
Yep.
And it has, but that became a life.
I got to the point where you can taste artificial sweetener, and oh, this is too sweet. I don't know what this whole me getting away from sweeteners and stuff has completely changed my palate to where I used to despise spicy food, and now I kind of crave spicy food.
Because what it is now you no longer have you no longer that sweet from the sugar. Mm-hmm. That's like it's weird. It almost like clogs everything up. It's like clogs up your palate. It clogs up your taste buds where you can't taste like
really good shit. Really good stuff.
Yes. Oh, there's like it's crazy. I'm like, there's so much goodness out there, you know. And I'm like, man. And everybody always thinks, oh yeah, I'm going on a quote unquote diet, or I'm changing my life. And I'm changing the way I'm eating. Oh, what are you going to eat? Chicken breast and broccoli. That's all I'm going to have. Because, you know, I'm on a diet, and it has to be bland food 24/7. Like, man, life is tasty. You know? You don't have to be bland. Like, what the hell did I make one night? The other night, I made some, like, chicken thighs, and I used lemon pepper seasoning. Mm-hmm. Like, I put melted butter on them first, and I covered them in the seasoning, and I popped them in the oven. Bro, that was like some of the best damn chicken I ever had.
All that butter into the chicken.
Dude, because it makes the skin crispy, but you don't have to fry it up, you know? So, it's like, that's the thing, though. And I use some seasonings. It's like, you dress it up a little. You don't have to be bland. That's what everybody thinks right away. You know, and see, I'm like you, bro. I have to go low carb. For me, I go like no sugar, no grains, /keto /paleo. I kind of take a little bit from everybody and find what works. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, don't get me wrong, you know, people think like, oh, do you like just despise bread? No, I love bread. Bread just doesn't love me back. I feel so much better having like, basically, you know, going, you know, really low carb. Like, people are like, man, how do you function? Like, I function better, actually.
It feels so great.
Mentally is right?
Great.
Don't you feel mentally better?
Oh, yeah. And the crazy thing is just energy all day long. Like, yes. 16, 17, 18-hour days, nothing. Bring it.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep when I get to bed, but I'm not dreading life the entire time.
Yeah, you're not like in this like weird mental fog of like, what the hell's going on? Oh, I'm tired. And like, we went out for my birthday. We went out to this Latin fusion place over here. My brother is like, we ordered like damn near almost the entire menu, basically. You know, because it was the whole family. My wife, my daughter, my brother, his wife, and their 2 kids, my parents, you know, so a bunch of us. Well, dude, my brother, like I said, he's like 160, something like that. He had like, I had like 2 empanadas, I want to say. He had like 4. He just like, he's like, damn, things good. The next day we went to Jiu Jitsu, and I felt so full. And he felt flat, and we were like talking, and I was like, what the hell? He's like, dude, I feel so flat today. I don't get it. I'm like, dude, me too. And we're talking to our coach. He's like, what else did you guys eat? We're like,
And you immediately, after you thought about it.
I was last night. Then the food still is like, it's like, my brother told me, like, dude, like, I went into like a carb coma, basically. Like, I got home, I watched TV, like, couldn't even go to sleep right away. Like, you're tired, but you're like, still can't go, like, but you can't go to sleep, though, because it just sits in your stomach, you know? All bread does is absorbs, like, the stomach acids and all that. Just inflates. So, yeah, so it was, like, funny, though. I'm like, damn. Like, it's weird. The things we eat ultimately affect how we do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know? In a weird way.
Well, it affects us more than what we think. It affects us way more than what people think.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean...
And what helped me change my idea, it's not like... Food tastes good, yes, but I try not to use it as a reward or and anything else other than fuel, because that's what it is.
Yes. You know what? I grew up on that whole food as a reward thing. Like, hey.
Dude, we're Hispanic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all did.
Right? We all did. Dude, you go. I could not go to I'd go to my grandmother's house after school, and she would like. I'm sure you've gone through this too. Your grandmother always has that thing of like, oh, he's gained so much weight. But
here's a big ass plate of food.
Pan dulce. Yes, un pan dulce and a big ass glass of milk.
Oh yeah.
But she's worried about you getting fat though. But she doesn't want you to get you too skinny either. So she's trying to keep it right in the middle, right there.
Yep.
Yes.
All the bakery treats and stuff like that.
When I was a kid, I'd go with my grandfather to the bakery. To get stuff, man. I still remember 26th Street. And I remember walking to that bakery. And I remember those smells. And then then going to Texas as a kid, my dad's dad was a baker. So,
wow.
And my aunt, and my aunt, my dad's sister, also a baker. Her and her husband. Needless to say, you go to Texas for vacation, or if they came. Oh, where's the Margie? Making a cake is like us. It never fails, But yeah, I would do well on a test. Look, I did good on this test. Can we get pizza tonight?
Yep.
'Cause I did good on the test. So come on. Every family function involved food some way.
Well, and that's not. I mean, that's just the norm, really.
It is. Like, oh, we're going over to so-and-so's house. He's going to order it. Oh, we're going to order pizza, bro. You want some? Hell yeah, I want some. But you just ate. Why are you eating again?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how, as people, that's the way we're wired, And it's kind of, it's sad.
Well, that's the way we've kind of accepted it,
Yeah.
And it can, but it's just a learned behavior.
It is.
You can change it. But it's so simple, but it's hard, and nobody wants to do it.
Oh man, no. The reason it's so hard is because it's not going to keep us comfortable. It's so comfortable to be in our little dome of bad food, Like, oh yeah,
Well, I mean, we legit call it comfort food for a reason.
We do, because it makes us feel so damn comfortable. It's like, those people always have that story of, oh man, this weekend I got so wasted. Like, you got so wasted, but you always wake up with a nasty hangover, though. Why are you doing that to yourself? And food is the same thing. Like, oh, I had this whatever, insert your bad food here. Oh, it tasted so good. Oh, man, that sounds like it tastes good. Like, yeah, but I feel really shitty right now. Why? I ate way too much of it. Our pleasure receptors go off and tell us, hey, keep shoveling that pizza in your mouth, homie. It's good, it's good, it's good. But it's not.
Nope.
All it's doing is weighing you down. So, I try to tell people, I'm like, man, it is not, calorie in versus calorie out.
But I'll tell you what, it's so hard being, sometimes it's, you seem preachy, because if I tell somebody about, or, if I start talking about diet, or especially if I start the conversation, it's like, people think I'm talking down to them, and it's like, it's not that, it's, Jesus, can you fucking believe that we've been lied to for like a long time? And, me specifically, as much butter and stuff as I eat, I mean, people would think I'd die,
Yeah.
I legit go through butter like I make 2 coffees a day. Every morning I make 2 coffees. I make enough for 2 coffees. In each one of those coffees I put 4 tablespoons of butter. Do the math.
That's a lot of fucking butter.
Yeah, that's every day. Every day.
Damn, that's a lot of fucking butter. Holy shit. Damn.
But in the same token, I've never looked as good as I have ever before. I've never felt as good as this. There's a better way. I'm not saying it's the only way. Shit works for me. Great.
That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander. You know, that's what pisses me off about people like who go vegan right away. I've gone vegan and I feel fantastic. Like, that's great, man. I'm happy for you. You found what works for you, but don't look at me sideways because I'm at Five Guys ordering a double bacon cheeseburger, no bun, asking them to put it in a lettuce wrap. Why are you eating that cow? Eating this, I feel better. I have
a friend who fucking every day he became a vegan, and it's craziness and I just laugh.
Oh my God.
I just laugh because I'm like, bro, you just so crazy about this shit. And I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, you can do whatever you want. And he likes arguing with people about it. I'm just, but the whole vegan thing, it doesn't, most people, when they start something, guess what they start doing is they track their fucking calories.
Exactly. A lot of them are just taking in less food. All of a sudden, like, oh, but you're not going through the drive-thru anymore at Mickey D's? Well, no, of course not. That's not vegan approved. Mm-hmm. But maybe because or all of a sudden, like, everything they're eating, it's like, well, you eat probably more salads now than you did then.
Exactly.
Could that be part of why you feel so much better? Because now you're eating real food. Throw a steak on your plate and you'll probably feel even 10 times better. It's just like, it's always that thing of that. They're always like one of my friends posted this article about why keto was so bad from Plant-Based News. Really? That's who you're going to cite as your source. Our website called Plant-Based News says keto's terrible for you. No shit. Called the Plant-Based News. These are the same people who, like, as you're progressing through the article, there's an ad for some kind of vegan power nutrition shake shit or some other BS or some vegan cookbook. Like,
so they can sell you something or something.
Exactly. And now that I'm on a podcast, I'm so glad I get to say this. Fuck you, Ansel Keys, son of a bitch. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck Ansel Keys. Those people who don't know who Ansel Keys is the jackass who basically came up with the food pyramid and told us how grains are so good for us, but everything else, how he totally ignored sugar. So, fuck Ansel Keys. I'm just going to say that right now.
That's the 1950 sugar the sugar study?
No, the sugar. Well, he did do one. Yes, he did the study on fat. Actually, I should say he's the guy who really bastardized fat and said how terrible it was.
Okay.
But he did the 7 countries. He went like all over Europe and stuff. But he totally ignored France.
Because France's study would have destroyed his evidence.
Exactly. These guys are sitting there eating brie cheese all day long. Mm-hmm. No, you can't get any more fattier than that. What was his name? Oh, I wish there's another guy out there, another doctor, Houston. I wish I remember his first name though. He wrote a book called. He wrote a book on sugar, actually, way back in the 50s, and he talks about how bad sugar is for us. Like, he pointed it out then, but the only thing was he just didn't have the backing power for it. So he didn't have Ansel Keys' presence and that whole, I'm Ansel Keys and I'm larger than life type of, vibe.
So I got a question for you about this sugar thing, right? So you know how bad it is and you know how it makes you feel. Mm-hmm. How do you pass this on to your child? I struggle with it. I struggle with it.
Oh, because that's the hardest part. I'll be honest. My daughter's 16. I found the best way to do it is you have to lead by example. I can't tell her Melina, you shouldn't eat that. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll take that Big Mac over there. Like I said, these fast food places will kill you. Yeah, I'll big ass that too. Thank you. you can't, you know what I mean? Like, your kids are always going to follow your example, no matter how old they get. My daughter's 16. She started eating salads. She's like, I really like salads. She's like, I go to the store and I go to, Walmart and the salad, it's like $1 or something for like the salad. She's like, I'll buy like enough to last me the whole entire week.
Wow.
She sees me eating salad. So it's like, it's all by example. You show them. That's how you get. And I wish when my daughter was younger, because when she was little, I was always big. I have old pictures of me and her together.
Hello? When your daughter was younger, you were always big.
Yeah, I was the big guy, So it's like.
Now, question: Did she ever come to you and tell you that like her friends would call you fat or anything?
No, she didn't. That's the thing. She never did. I don't know if they did or not. It's a possibility. I don't know. She never mentioned it, though, to me. So if they did, I don't know. Even though I think if they did, she would have mentioned it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, that's the thing. They never did. So now, though, she's gotten into, so she's seen me, be successful, eating better, not drinking pop, eating more like veggies and stuff like that. So now I've been able to influence her in a better way.
That's awesome.
So now, but yeah, when she was younger, I wish I would have gotten on the healthier train, Well,
I have a similar story, and I have to really like give my son props, man. He's 8 years old, right? And he and his mother the other day went to Red Robin, and he ordered a cheeseburger, and he wanted, he said no, he was going to do orange slices instead of French fries. And they fucked up. They fucked up, and they brought him French fries. And when they put the plate in front of him, he goes, "Oh wait, no, I really wanted orange slices and not the French fries." And she said, "Okay, but I'm gonna leave them there so you can have them." They brought out the orange slices. He ate his cheeseburger and his orange slices, and he never touched the potato chip, the French fries. Bro, he's fucking 8. He's 8 years old. What 8-year-old? Like, that's awesome.
It is fucking awesome because he fucking sees you. He sees like my dad. If my old man would have done that type of thing, trust me, I would have followed his footsteps. I get my work ethic from my old man. I saw how hard he worked. He always busted his ass at every job, no matter what it was. He did it. Always gave it 100%. So I learned, so I mimic him now. So your son's doing the same thing. He's mimicking you with his work ethic. He's just like, no, he's like, my dad's he's not eating French fries. You're his hero. So that's how he looks at it. He's like, well, my dad doesn't eat French fries. I'm not eating French fries either. It's fucking awesome. That is fucking awesome.
It is. I'm like proud of him. When my wife told me that, I was like, I ran up to him and I gave him a hug, and I was like, I told him I'm proud of him. I mean, it can't be easy for a kid,
Hell no. Dude, being a kid, it's like, I can eat whatever I want. French fries? Hell yeah. Cake? Come on. I mean, breakfast cereals are geared towards kids,
And I'm trying so much that, like, we give him one that's, what the fuck? Healthy grains, right? Because grains are healthy. But, it's like that. It has some almonds in it and some nuts in it. I'm like, fuck. There's so much sugar in it. And I'm trying to get him away from it, but it's like, it's what he likes. And I'm like, damn it. How the fuck do I get it away from him? And it's just... It's really, that's why I was asking you about, your daughter and
mm-hmm.
about how you change, because it's like, I don't want to be I really don't want to go all German Nazi on it and say, hey, you can't have sugar, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, it's how to do it.
Yeah, that's the you don't want to do. You don't want, that's the very, because then it's going to push them even
more to
really
want it, yeah.
That milkshake. Yes. The way you do it is just, you keep being the positive light. That's like my daughter now. I send her selfies after every workout. It's 6 a.m. Jiu Jitsu. It's 7 o'clock. I'm taking a fucking selfie.
Nice.
I'm sending it to her. And I tell her, 6 a.m. workout, 6 a.m. Jiu Jitsu workout. It's lunchtime. Same. I'm like, I probably look like a giant a-hole. I'm an idiot on the treadmill taking a selfie. Or I'm in the mirror with the weights and shit, But the point is, though, so that way she sees those things. Then she'll do it later in the day. She'll send me a selfie from the gym. Got my workout in.
Awesome.
Our kids are just a reflection of us. They're a reflection of what our hopes and our dreams. And if you keep showing them, look, I'm having, bacon and eggs for breakfast, or I'm having some eggs, and, I'm not doing, I have some eggs and avocado, I'm having eggs and have some spinach over here, he will see that. He'll be like, well, hey, my dad eats that way. I'm going to eat that way too. That's what I want. I want that. That's what you got to do. You got to just keep at it. Look at that. You already got him at the Red Ramen not eating French fries.
It's a start, right?
Cereal's just next.
Yeah, cereal's next.
Exactly.
It's the next thing.
It's all those little steps. The tiny little steps will keep going to bigger, bigger, bigger steps. This is the start. And stuff like that, I always think it's awesome hearing stuff like that. You don't want to just shove it down his throat, this is the way you're eating now. Throwing the cereal box out the window. Mm-hmm. Get that shit out of my house. Then what's going to happen? They're going to see their friends at school. Bring me some cereal. I want them to have cereal.
This fucking guy. Because this fucking guy's fat, he doesn't want me to have some cereal at the house.
Exactly. He's going to be like, this fucking guy over, this fat fuck can't handle the cereal.
Yeah.
So I'm being punished. And that's exactly what you don't want. You don't want that. But you want him to see, damn, my dad, he doesn't eat, he doesn't eat crappy food. I can't eat. That's what it is. He sees, it's going to start impacting him. So for watch, cereal's coming next. I'm telling you.
Well,
try to, do your best to, just make sure let him see you eating those good meals,
I'm definitely going to have to do that. Man, David, I'm sorry to have to cut this short, but we're definitely going to have to do this again. Let everybody know where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on Facebook, David Ramirez. You can look me up on Instagram if you so choose to. Dad Getting Fit _BJJ Runner. If you're in Illinois, please come down to Gracie Baja Des Plaines. I'm there. I'm there 3 to 4 times a week, so you can definitely find me there at the gym. Bro, we will definitely have to do this again, because I looked at my phone, I'm like, holy cow, we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So we did not touch
and we scratched the surface. Yeah, no, we scratching the surface.
Bro, we are going to do this again.
And the competition is Tap Out for Cancer, October 20th in Oaklawn, correct?
Yeah. It's in Oaklawn, Illinois. If you find me on Instagram, go ahead and, sorry guys, I do have my pages private for very personal reasons. Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
Is there a link that we can send to donate to the cause?
There's a link in my bio on my Instagram. Click on there, and you guys can check me out. That'll link you right to my fundraising page. Every donation helps. Cancer sucks big time, and let's fight it together.
It does. I'll do is I'll put that link in the show notes and send it out within the podcast.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. This was awesome. We are definitely going to do this again.
Thank you, brother. Have a good night. All right, bro.
Thank you, brother. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the Fat Boy Podcast. Have a nice day.